I'm standing there on the factory floor, the hum of machines echoing like a heartbeat, and I can't help but think about how far we've come and how absurdly far we're about to go. Because when I talk about AI5, AI6, and everything beyond, I'm not just talking about chips. I'm talking about the nervous system of the future, the computational spine of autonomy, robotics, and intelligence itself. And as I look at the engineers around me, some tired, some wired, all brilliant, I explain that the path forward isn't incremental, it's exponential, that AI5 was just the opening act. AI6 is where we bend the curve so hard it nearly snaps. And the idea that Tesla could outproduce every other chip manufacturer on Earth combined isn't bravado. It's simply the logical consequence of refusing to build for today and insisting on building for the world that's coming. A world where the demand for compute grows faster than anyone realizes, where robots need the kind of real-time decision-making once reserved for science fiction, where cars don't just drive but think, where Optimus isn't a prototype but a workforce. And I tell them that to make that world real, we have to control every layer, the architecture, the fabrication, the thermodynamics, the interconnects, the data pathways, the training throughput, everything. And when people say it's impossible, I just shrug, because impossible is what things are called before someone actually does them. So, yes, we're designing chips so efficient they might as well sip power through a straw. Chips that train neural nets at scales that make current benchmarks look like cave drawings, chips that don't just parallelize computation but devour it. And the roadmap doesn't end there, because AI7, AI8, whatever we call them, will be built for the kind of generalized autonomy that will make robots as common as smartphones and make the idea of humans doing dull, dangerous, repetitive tasks feel like ancient history. And as I'm talking, I can see the spark in the room. People realizing we're not just building hardware, we're building a civilization-level upgrade. Something that future historians might point to as the moment humanity shifted tracks. And that's why we're ramping production like a rocket launch. Why the Geigy factories are being retooled with speeds that would make traditional chip makers faint. Why the supply chain is being treated like an engineering problem instead of a bureaucratic one. Because if we're going to lead the world into an era where intelligence isn't limited by scarcity, we have to make compute as abundant as oxygen, and the way we do that is by refusing to wait for someone else to solve the bottlenecks, by refusing to slow down, by refusing to think small. And as I finish explaining all this, I realize that the exciting part isn't the roadmap itself, but the fact that it's only the beginning, that everything we're building now is going to look tiny in hindsight, that the real breakthroughs are still hiding behind the horizon, and the only way to reach them is to keep pushing, keep scaling, keep inventing, because the future doesn't build itself. You have to build it one unreasonable idea at a time. So, when I walk into the design lab for what we're calling AI6, I look at the prototype boards scattered across the tables like pieces of some alien technology we haven't fully deciphered yet. And I tell the team that what we're doing here isn't just about more TOPS or lower latency or better bandwidth. It's about creating a kind of computational organism, something that feels alive in the way it processes the world, because autonomy isn't just reaction, it's anticipation, prediction, intuition. And to give machines that level of thinking, we need chips that behave less like calculators and more like accelerated neurons firing across synthetic synapses with almost biological fluidity. And I say, look, if we want Optimus to fold laundry, cook meals, build cars, navigate homes, assist the elderly, and eventually multiply our productivity by a factor history has never seen, then these chips are the mind inside the metal, and they can't just be good, they have to be extraordinary. They have to turn the world's largest training runs into routine Tuesday afternoon workloads. They have to take what previously required data centers the size of shopping malls and shrink it into something you could slip into a robot's torso without melting it. And that's why we're pushing so hard into vertical integration, because relying on anyone else means inheriting their limitations, and limitations are the enemy of progress. So yes, we're building fabs that operate like hyper-efficient organismal metabolisms, fabs tuned for speed, repetition, precision, fabs that will churn silicon like star factories forging elements, fabs that will make other fabs feel like relics. And as we talk through the yield strategies and wafer optimization, I can already see beyond that. I can see AI7, AI8, the chips that won't just power machines but entire ecosystems of intelligence, chips that scale not linearly but cosmically. Because if we really want a world where transportation is autonomous, where robots are commonplace, where energy is sustainable and abundant, where humanity becomes a multi-planet species supported by autonomous labor, then the backbone of that civilization is compute, and the supply of compute cannot throttle the ambitions of the species that depends on it. So yes, I say it again, we're aiming to outproduce everyone, not because we need to brag about capacity, but because the future needs that capacity, and if no one else builds it, then we have to. And as I pace through the lab, I remind them that every breakthrough in human history came from people who ignored the presumed limits of their era, and we're doing the same. Building hardware that the future will look back on and say that was the spark. That was the moment the impossible started becoming normal. That was the moment machines became partners in progress rather than tools. And as I finish speaking, the room is quiet, not from doubt, but from realization. The realization that the mountain we're climbing is enormous but real, and the view from the top is worth every sleepless night, every insane engineering challenge, every bet that everyone else is scared to make. Because the reward isn't a product, it's a new chapter in what humanity can become. And as we move deeper into the roadmap, into territory where even the diagrams look like they were sketched by someone trying to map the inside of a star, I gather the team again and tell them that AI6 isn't the finish line, it's the ignition sequence. Because once we prove that a vertically integrated AI superchip can outperform entire clusters while running cooler, faster, cheaper, and smarter, the world is going to change faster than anyone is prepared for. And that's exactly why we have to be ready for AI7. The architecture that won't just accelerate neural networks, but reshape them. A chip designed not only to run models, but to evolve them, to train them on the fly, to adapt to edge cases in milliseconds instead of months. And I explained them when cars can learn in real time and robots can update their understanding of the world during the task instead of after it, we enter a new phase of intelligence. Something closer to collective cognition, where millions of devices share insights as easily as neurons share impulses, and to make that possible, we need manufacturing so massive that the world will think we've opened portals to alternate realities just to get enough supply. But the truth is simpler. We're just scaling at a level no one else is willing to attempt. And when people ask why I push so hard, why everything has to be faster, better, bigger, I tell them it's because we're racing the future, and the future moves quickly. And if we don't build the infrastructure for abundance, then we'll be stuck in a world bottlenecked by scarcity. And I refuse to let humanity be capped by the limits of outdated chip production philosophies. So, as we stand around the whiteboards covered in equations and block diagrams, I explained that AI8 will be the first chip designed with Mars in mind. The first chip that will run inside autonomous construction robots that build habitats before humans even arrive. A chip resilient to radiation, capable of self-checking and self-healing, capable of running entire outposts without direct supervision. And I can see their eyes widen because, suddenly, this isn't just about cars and robots, it's about civilization engineering. It's about constructing the scaffolding for a multi-planet species. And I admit that, yes, these ideas sound crazy, but so did reusable rockets, so did mass-market electric cars, so did landing boosters on ships in the middle of the ocean. So does almost everything until it's done. And I remind them that we're not building chips for the world as it is, but for the world as it will be. A world where autonomy is everywhere, where intelligence is abundant, where robots do the labor and humans do the imagining. And as I finish, I look around the room and I can feel the momentum, the collective sense that we are standing on the edge of something colossal, something that will redefine the next century. And I tell them simply, this is the moment, this is the mission, this is the future being built in real time, and we're the ones crazy enough to build